Alright, welcome to the trackMatte and blending modes tutorial. I'm obviously going to teach you how to use trackMatte and blending modes. If you can't see either of these, right click, columns, and toggle the respective switch. Don't be alarmed, but we're going to make this fairly complicated looking thing in this tutorial. So it's not actually that hard, it just looks fairly complicated with all these layers. So let's get into it. So I'm just going to go new project for a moment, and we're going to drag in everything from the resources for tutorials 5 trackMatte shoot. And we're going to start with our guard tower. We're going to drag that into make new comp. This will give us our sort of base to work with. And what we want to do is apply our effect. So we're going to click on this, and obviously it's a green screen one, so we're going to hit keylight, which I've used a few times before. And you'll notice that we have a little bit of a problem here. Some of this hasn't come through well on the green screen, so if we go to screen matte and use clip black just a little bit, I'm just going to fade that out slightly. So about 20 to 27. That'll make our tower not appear so dodgy in the green screen. Now we need to put some kind of background on, so if you're like me and your effective controls are too big, just go do this a little bit, make the window bigger. And then go back to project, and we're going to drag in a background. Let's go with night sky PNG, put it at the bottom, and we'll notice we've got a bit of a night sky theme happening here. By itself it's not that amazing. Okay, now I'm going to teach you about the trackMatte. So pretty much what we're going to do is put a solid color that'll shine through and sort of take over the color properties of this object here. So can be useful for doing things like headings and funky intros. New solid, blue, that'll do, approximate bluish, and you'll notice it takes over everything. Drag it slightly below your guard tower, and now using the trackMatte option, choose alpha matte, and you'll notice that it has turned off the guard tower layer here. You can see the little eye, and it has activated this alpha trackMatte business. Okay, now you can just do this, you can see how I did the rest of it now. I'll just do this repeatedly. Now I've got my crazy colourful explosions happening, but I haven't got any sound effects, so we need those sounds. You can drag both of those in at once. And a good way to try and make them match up is to just pick the one that's longer to go with the one that's obviously longer in terms of its duration here. So I'm going to put this one. I might make my explosions staggered slightly as well. So if we just move back to the start, I might make my orange one just slide out just a little bit so it doesn't blow up at the same time as the other one. And now I'll move my explosion to audio to match with it. So this is what we got so far. If we hit this RAM preview option or press 0. Not too bad. I think my audio might be slightly out of sync, but we can fix that up later. We need the jet flyby next. We're going to drag that in. This one will be the hardest one to sort of sort out because once again, press undo, Control Z. We need to get an appropriate section of this flyby. So double click it. We're going to move until we find a jet that looks like it's flying overhead. And I'm going with that one. So go to 3113 as the in point. And we just scrub along a little bit. And we choose 3313 as the out point. And now that that's done, just drag it down. Apply our effect, and we've got a little airplane flying overhead, but he's behind everything, in front of everything, so we need to put it at the back. We go all the way to the bottom except for night sky, and we need to make him a little bigger because he's too small. Make it take up the whole screen. And now we should have an aeroplane flying overhead. But his colours aren't quite right because we haven't added our new solid, which I'm going to make green just because I did it last time. And a horrible lime green at that. I'm going to move that one down to jet flyby, just below it. I'm going to apply my alpha trackMatte, and what do you know? I've got pretty much what we got before, but we need a jet sound effect as well. Jet fighter flyby, drag that down. Let's move that jet fighter back a little bit, and try that again. And that, my happy students, is using the trackMatte. What I want you to do is go File, Save As, and call this your trackMatte tutorial. And then we're going to do our blending modes next. So trackmatting works a little differently from blending modes, and I'm going to show you how that works. You can see blending mode has a whole bunch of different options here, different ways in which you can blend your footage together, whereas trackMatte only had these 4 options, and we mainly only use this alpha matte one. These ones make slightly different kind of looks. You can experiment with that in your own time, but for this tutorial we mainly just use this alpha matte. But for the blending modes, I want you to just go File, New. You would have already saved yours, and drag in this Canon 01. Now you'll notice as we drag this to make new comp, that, thanks for that little slogan there, Detonation Films, it's a black background, but there's no green screen option. Now sometimes you'll find effects that will look like this, and they're not as good as green screen ones. So if you can find a green background, I'd use that first, but if you can't, then go with these black backgrounds. These blend in a slightly different way, so I'm just going to show you now by putting in a solid, and I'm just going to make it let's make it blue. I'll put it in the background, and now I want to show you how this blends. So you go to blending modes, and generally speaking you use add and multiply. They're usually the best for your blending modes for most applications. So multiply, that'll make it pretty much like your trackMatte style before, but the background will stay black. It gives you that blue smoke look. So good if you want to color something that's white. Alternatively, we pick add, and this is sort of the application that you generally want with your black background effects. You can see that the white stays there, but the black disappears and whatever is replaced. Okay, so it kind of works when you've got full color footage. Doesn't work quite as well as a green screen, but it's not too bad. I want you to save this final little bit here that we've done as blending modes, and then you can finish this tutorial.